Hi guys, I'm OP. I'm a pro trader from Hedge. Welcome to another video analyzing the markets. Every day we give you all these videos. Let's just jump right straight to the video and we look at the Bitcoin charts right now, and we can see we are still range bounding just like yesterday. This box that I drew yesterday, we're still within the box, which at least still shows us a continuous bullish momentum and shows us and gives us the indication that we seem to be chopping up. Like I said, once we are still in this box, we're still very good. So now we'll be looking further, because today is the end of the week. On Friday, we'll be looking further that when we get to Sunday and we do the weekly close on Sunday, we'll be looking to where we close the weekly candle of Sunday. That will be indicative of what we are going to be doing further along the line towards next week, and it will give us whether we form a higher low on the weekly charts, and that will be really, really bullish or bearish, whatever the case may be, and what the chart tells us, because we believe in the charts and we look at what the price action is telling us. Looking at the RSI, we seem to be pointing downward just like yesterday. So we just pretty much following the same pattern of yesterday, although we are slightly down below 94 that we got into the high of yesterday, but I believe we are still in a good range. We are above the 50 EMA and the 200 EMA. Everything looks bullish, everything looks good. We just need to confirm this. Once we confirm this, we know that we are moving further upside, but everything is still contingent upon the trade war, tariffs, the trade war that is going on between US and China, all the other inflation, the debt levels, and other macroeconomic factors that are going up, geopolitical tensions, and all of that still come up into the mix, because no matter what, we are still part of the global economy, and this still affects us one way or the other. And also, not to forget, the financial markets and the stock markets also, all that affects us. So we are looking good at Bitcoin. Just to summarize what I'm trying to say, we are looking good, same as yesterday. We just continue to look. We look at like the 24-hour low was 92,000, but right now, and the 24-hour high was 94,400, but now we are at 93,16172. It just jumped, and so we are still ranging within this range. We are still moving sideways, choppy markets. Don't get chopped up. Very, very volatile, very, very risky for anybody to get into this market. If you are looking to swing trade or to enter a longer term trade, it will be better to just stay out of the market. Sit on your hands and let the market price come to you, with the price that I've indicated above there. We take a look at Solana charts. We can see we are just inching above, and Solana actually, I would say, is even doing better than Bitcoin right now, and we have been inching little by little. Not We don't have the violent kind of swings that you see in Bitcoin, but we are moving ahead. Yesterday we were about, I think, 140, 149, 148, and now we are at $151 per coin. So now we are still looking, and we are maintaining our levels that I've had at 158, and we'll be looking at these levels. Let's see what happens again towards this weekend, the end of the week. It will give us a bullish weekly close, which will also print us a higher high, similar stream structure as Bitcoin, although with a lower kind of with lower volatility. Volume is looking good, although seems to be declining right now on the daily. So this, looking at the RSI, to pointing towards towards the bottom. So we might see a somewhat reversal or continuation, but a reversal, a little bit, maybe sideways movement, but choppy market, kind of like the same thing. We look at THRY. That THRY has been doing very, very well. Yesterday I was really bullish. I'm still bullish on THRY. One of my main bags holding THRY, and I'm holding it for the long term. You can see the 40-something% move that THRY had day before yesterday, and we are still maintaining that. I've drawn a box above the $3 level, kind of $3 level up onto the $3.5 level, and I'll be expecting it to be choppy around. I'm expecting it to face resistance within this box. So what most likely will happen if it's face resistance within this box is for us to go back to the 2.9 levels, and for us to confirm that support before I believe a further movement to the upside will continue with THRY. We see a lot of bullish momentum happening on THRY network, and like I said yesterday, the fundamental news behind THRY and the catalyst that is causing this pump is because of the THRY base camp coming up in May, first week of May, which I'll be attending. And of course, I'm going to be there to be on ground, listen to the developers, listen to what is being built on THRY network, and get more alpha. So you guys have to pay attention, and you have guys to watch every video to be right on top of every single thing that is going to be coming out, every single alpha I'm going to get from the THRY base camp, and I'm going to feed it to you guys. Another possibility of what is happening in the THRY network is the integration with Pokemon, and there's this parasol company that is involved, and this will be focusing on games with arts and Pokemon kind of metaverse type thing, and this will be all coming on the THRY network. So I believe all of this is coming together with the THRY base camp, Pokemon, and all of this is coming together to create this bullish pump and this big momentum happening on the THRY train. So THRY is looking very, very good. I believe it's going to be the leading L1s in the near future, or in the future, as the case may be. So all of this is really speaking to what is going on. We remain structurally bullish. Back to Bitcoin, we remain structurally bullish, and the question that we should be asking is the bottom in at the 70s, at the 75 region that we made, or are we going to see another flush out maybe in the near future? Some are arguing most likely in May, sometime in May we'll see another flush out, just another correction, just to flush out the bulls that are overly bullish now and overly excited. So that is a big question for us to still have at the back of our mind, and we consider all of this in every trade we are taking. This is part of risk management, and it's something for us to think about while we are taking any positions or taking any trades in the near future. We look at the fear and greed index. We are at 60 right now, and of course lower than yesterday, which we're high on 63. So it's kind of good that we are tempering down the greed, because of course market is choppy, so it's not moving as violent as it was on Bitcoin. We look at the altcoin market as a whole, and you can see like it's a mixed bag of obviously more greens than red. So this is just giving us, at least we are in choppy, we are just moving sideways, everything is just moving sideways, and this is just indicative in when you look at the price across the board. You can see what jumps out to me is THRY. Like I mentioned, I showed you the chart. It still remains bullish, still remains green. Bonk, a meme coin. FET, AI. Core, another AI token, I believe. XLM, similar to like XRP. HBAR, Ondo, very, very good RWA token. ENA has been bullish of late, so we need to be watching that. Tau, another very good AI token that is very, very good. Stacks, that's on the Bitcoin network, on the Bitcoin ecosystem. That is, I think, is even the second gainer of the day after HNC, which is Helium network. So all of these are bullish. You see Polygon, just another one that just popped up to me. A lot of all these are just bullish altcoins that are moving in the market and giving us high on the day. Then moving on to Bitcoin, and you see the fundamental analysis. You look at ARK Invest, a VC in the space, and ARK Invest, obviously everybody that is familiar in this space knows that it's run by Cathie Wood, and she has unveiled her latest prediction for that 2030 we'll see Bitcoin bull case to be 2.4 million. Wow. If it's 2.4, if she's projecting 2.4 million, well, I'll take it. My bags will be bigger, and I'm sure all of us will be happy. All of us would like to see this, but I wonder how she's positioning and projecting that this will come up by 2030. But well, it gives us a bullish case for us to be excited about. Talking of bull cases and people making prediction on bold predictions, you look at the price predictions by industry leaders, and you see all these guys that have big following on Twitter, all over in macroeconomics. Tom Lee, we always show his videos. He's saying he's going to catch up to gold. Peter Brandt, another one, is long Bitcoin, looking at it, everything will be bullish. We are seeing people that are saying Ethereum will flip bullish. Hugo, this hedgehog is saying shorted gold and believing gold is going to come down. Geoffrey Kendrick is saying 200,000 by 2025, by 2028 we see another 500k. So all these guys are just bullish at the moment. And speaking of another bullish momentum, is Adabak. Is one of the early OGs in Bitcoin space, one of the original cyberpunk teams in California, in Silicon Valley, San Francisco, and all these guys really know about the network. They built everything that we are using today, that we have come to love. And his prediction is that Bitcoin will hit 500,000 to 1 million this cycle. Let's just listen to what he has to say.
And the fact that we had an end of epoch new all-time high, 73.5, just before it halving, I view as a kind of confirmation that it would have gone higher if not for all of those headwinds. And so I think it's probably incorrect to draw too many inferences from the last cycle. And so if you take that out, I think that there's a lot of positive news that $100,000 is way too cheap, especially in the year much higher. And we get between 500,000 and a million during this cycle. And the fact that we had.
So he's just saying that 500,000 to $1 million is possible this cycle, which is interesting, and at least it's not as bullish as although ARK Invest. So if he's saying 500,000 to 1 million by 2030, that means it is even going to be more than $2.4 million that ARK Woods and Cathie Wood, ARK Invest and Cathie Wood is actually predicting. So something interesting, and just for us to know that a lot of bullish case out there, a lot of bullish sentiment, bullish predictions, and all of this. You just see it shows the excitement in the space, and just for us to know what is going on. And you see a post by Watcher Guru saying that the Fidelity Asset Manager and Fidelity Capital is saying that Bitcoin supply on exchanges is dropping due to public company purchases. So we have also seen this, that we know that institutions are coming into the space in droves. Government entities too are joining the crypto adoption curve more, and right now they have changed their stance. They are, instead of fighting it, they are now embracing it. Sports ETFs are working very diligently, bringing billions and billions in institutional inflows into the market. And all of this we can see with the Bitcoin exchanges deposit addresses count, and people deposit, the number of addresses that are depositing Bitcoin to exchanges has been declining since 2022. And this is quite evident because when people from their cold wallet they deposit to exchange, what they want to do is most likely sell it. So once it starts to decrease, it shows that this trend is bullish in itself, and that investors are not selling, are holding and are accumulating, and rather to sit on it, and they have this Hodl mentality that is going on. And that's what we also see with another chart from Crypto Quant, that is the highest outflows for exchanges. We are seeing Bitcoin so no Bitcoin is entering exchanges, rather they are going out from exchanges and going into cold wallets, and people are storing them. So that means people are reaccumulating it and accumulating that in droves, and that is incredibly bullish for Bitcoin, the price, the whole space, because Bitcoin, the godfather, is going to drag everything with it. And now we just move ahead to what is happening in the macroeconomic, the bigger, wider macroeconomic backdrop. And you see the Federal Reserve has just announced yesterday that they have withdrawn its guidance for banks to regulate crypto. And this is quite bullish because earlier, before in the past administration, banks had to report every single dealings they had to do with people on crypto that had to be involved in crypto. And now the Federal Reserve has announced a withdrawal of all of these guidance, and this is quite bullish. And this just gives us like more freedom. They are treating crypto just like any banking product and financial product, and that is quite bullish. You see, Crypto Rover is talking about how Ethereum Is being accumulated by BlackRock, and which is bullish for it. But we contrast that to one of the co-founders of Ethereum, Charles Hoskinson, as well as Charles Hoskinson was one of the co-founders, just like Gavin Wood, Dr. Gavin Wood of Polkadot. Charles Hoskinson is of Cardano. Gavin Wood was Polkadot, and Vitalik Buterin, which still remains in Ethereum. These three guys were the main developers and founders of Ethereum, but they broke into their separate. They went into their separate ways. Cardano now, in Cardano's founder Charles Hoskinson now shitting on Ethereum, just like Plan B was shitting on Ethereum early this week, and now we see Cardano too saying it that he doesn't believe Ethereum can survive any more than 10 to 5 years, because we are seeing the way Ethereum has been lackluster movement, is not really doing well. Let's just take a listen to what Charles Hoskinson has to say.
So I don't think Ethereum will survive, more than 10 years to 15 years. The layer 2s will continue to suckle out all of the alpha, and people will start fighting, and it'll get harder and harder for Vitalik to be able to hold it together through sheer force of will. And users will gradually migrate to other places, and then they're going to get eclipsed by Bitcoin DeFi. So brilliant project. It's just victim of its own success, like MySpace or any of these other things that have a lot of network effect and momentum. BlackBerry is another example. But people have fundamentally different paradigms that over the long term are intrinsically superior. So I don't think Ethereum.
So he's just saying Ethereum is a victim of his own success, comparing it to things like MySpace, BlackBerry. You can even say I forget the name of that, Blockbuster and stuff like that, and that's because Ethereum is not doing very well. But I would slightly push back on that sentiment and other statements, because you see a lot of institutions, like we just reported, BlackRock is accumulating Ethereum. A lot of layer 2s are built on Ethereum. Ethereum is being used heavily. That's the biggest developer network, and the developers building on the Ethereum chain. So I doubt if maybe it might slightly change from what it is today, his character and his whole makeup, into something different in the future, like 10 15 years, that Charles Hoskinson is saying. But I doubt if Ethereum will be eliminated and it will be no longer. But who knows the future? We are all predicting, we are all here to speculate, and this is the game, right? So he too is also speculating. We can all speculate, and let's just see. We just hope for the best. We hope that they'll be able to do better things, and maybe evolve into a different type of product. So that's just interesting and something to look out for. Moving on, we see XRP, GCME Group, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, is launching XRP futures to be trading on May 19 next month. And you see, this is what is quite bullish about XRP, because I keep looking at the XRP chart. Although, let's just look at the XRP chart right now, and XRP doesn't look to be moving. I think I checked it before. Yeah, same sideways movement as at yesterday. RSI is pointing down. We still remain in our range of $2.182. So this always happens to XRP, whereby the price doesn't move according to the fundamental or the narratives and catalyst that is moving out there. But those who believe and those who understand the XRP network understands what this token is and this project is and what is underlying it. There's so many things going on for it. This is very, very bullish for XRP, and I believe the price is going to go further. It's one of my holding that I hold in bags, and I'm bullish on XRP. That's all I'll say for now. I hope you guys are too, and are positioned well into XRP, because I know for sure a lot of institutions are behind XRP. They have a lot of partnerships, strategic partnerships with institutions all over the world, and they are doing a lot of great work out there. Moving on, we just see President Trump. We have to mention, because everything we are driven by news. Well, we're looking at President Trump saying he had a meeting with China. So we hope this meeting goes well, although there are still many things they now have to decide and decouple from and come to terms with. And we see Ray Dalio, somebody respected, somebody I personally like. I've read 2 of his books. is the founder and the CEO and the chief investment officer of Bridgewater Associates. That it has 125 billion AUM as at 2023. He writes beautiful articles, and of course a long article here, which is not quite long, but something that I think is very insightful and educative, something we should read. And he's just speaking on the US tariff, US-China rebalancing, and speaking on the tariffs and what he thinks should come in the near future. And all he's just saying is that there should be necessary and cooperative economic rebalancing between US and China to address unsustainable imbalances. And pretty much the gist of what he's trying to say is that cooperation, effective tools, and capable decision making should be made with both nations. This would achieve this rebalancing act, because there's a lot of deficits. Americans are facing have deficits. They need to cut. They need to raise their manufacturing, because all the manufacturing has left America and gone to China. They need to cut their consumption because they are the ones that consume the most from China. China manufactures and America consumes, and they need to reduce its debt budget. On the other hand, China needs to cut the surplus, lower manufacturing, raise consumption, and reduce its debt burden. So these two have to be rebalanced. So in order for them to do it, how do they come to terms with this? They have to cooperate. They have to sign new trade agreements, and all of this kind of resets the world order, and gives us again, which this is all the things we believe, that it is a reset of the financial institutions, financial positioning of the world. And that is why we are interested in Bitcoin, because Bitcoin brings about all this change, and it makes us question all of this, and you can see all of this happening in tandem. So it's quite interesting and it's quite fascinating that all of this is happening. Why Bitcoin is mooning, institutions are buying Bitcoin, China too is also buying Bitcoin, and gold, and everybody is moving into risk of assets. While all of this is happening, trade war, tariffs, geopolitical uncertainty, tariff battles, what's the logical step for all of this? De-escalation or deal making or deal progressing? Trump says he's the best deal maker. He's written the book, The Art of the Deal. Let's see whether he'll be able to, all of this will be able to come to fruition. We are all watching. We are all waiting for this, because all of this will bullish for our bags, bullish for the Bitcoin chart, bullish for the whole cryptocurrency chart. And also, when we notice all of this, we understand all of this big picture, then we are much more smarter. We are much more on point to be able to make decisions in taking a trade. We are much more certain and much more confident in taking trades, of course managing our risk and hedging our positions rightfully to be able to make money right away. That's why we are here, either to long or short the market. Watch my video every day, and we are here to make money from this chart, from Bitcoin, from everything. Let's go. Zero to Ferrari. Bye.